All right, guys. So the number one thing killing your swing is legitimately going to be your body's inability to get into the position to do the thing, right? Like, forget about, like, I mean, yes, your body is creating the swing because your club is connected to your hands, and that's what we're doing. We're swinging a club. But if you cannot get into the position without the club, without pain, and without ease, I don't know, tell me the math on it. Tell me how it's gonna work. And what I mean is, like, let's just look at something simple. Like, for people that are, you know, that bend at their knees a lot, if you set the club on the ground, usually it'll come to about, you know, a reasonable height for somebody to grab it with their hands. But if you start bending your knees, and when I say you grab it with your hands, the club's going to be just about flat on the ground, where the grooves on the club are going to be about parallel to the ground, or very near. Now, as you start bending your knees with the club in your hand, you're effectively changing the lie angle of the club, and at that point you can almost never get the club back into place to actually square it up. And if you do actually get the club face to make contact with the ball, it's not going to be the most efficient. You're going to be hitting across the ball, hitting down on the ball in a way that's going to be pulling the ball left, spinning it right. Like, there are no good outcomes for an over-the-top swing. Okay, and that's what that's going to promote, because if you look and your knees are bent, you try to take it back, unless you somehow stay in that exact same position, you're not going to be able to get the club face back onto the ball to be able to square it up. Now, you do have some outliers, and I don't even know if I call them outliers, because, like, really tall people have to make adjustments to the clubs, and the clubs, you know, need to be made a little bit longer. But if you look at a player like Keegan Bradley, like, he stays pretty level, but he's tall. He's really tall. What is he, 6'4"? I don't know, but he's taller than 6'1". He's taller than 6'2". So, and you don't see a lot of guys doing that. So that's the first thing. Well, that's one aspect of that. Now, just looking at the rotational aspect of it, if you can't rotate your body, like moving your hips, if your hips are locked in place, you're gonna have a huge problem. Now, you can get the club face back onto the ball, but you're gonna have to do a few things differently with your timing to make it so that the club face is not cutting across the ball or just slamming it left, because you're just using all arms to get it back into place. You will have to use some sort of body motion to square that back up, however you do it. And that's also a thing. It's like, look at everybody's swing. Everybody's swing is different. Yes, there are some positions that they'll say, like, oh, every pro does this. Sure, they do. But how they get there is going to be different for each player. And you need to be okay with that. Like, because this is what I noticed too, is that a lot of guys, they want to swing their own way, because, like, oh, this is what works. Oh, like, every time I practice, you know, nothing good comes of it. Okay, so all the things causing you frustration has led you down the path of, like, swinging some kind of random way that worked like one time. Okay, but you see nobody else doing it. Like, you're not. I don't want to take it away from you and say that you're not going to be special. But if you don't have a home crafted swing that you've been doing since you were like 5 or 6, I recommend setting the clock back a little bit, and let's try to do something a little bit more conventional. Get some of your grip, posture, and things in order, and try to work that way. But using the idea that, oh, I swung this way one time or a couple times and it worked, like, yeah, but how consistent can you be with that? Because that's what golf is. Golf is consistency, game of misses, all those things. And if you can't repeat it because either you're in pain or you just have this inability to get into the position to do the thing that actually works, then you got to set back a little bit and make it so that you can, whether it's through flexibility, training, mobility, whatever it is, you may have to step back. A lot of these guys will tell you, like, oh, you just gotta make your swing do this, and you gotta do this with your hands. Right? But if your hands don't do that, or if your body's not doing that, you can't win. So I want you to just think about it and even work through some things in your own swing. See if you can't get into some of those impact positions or positions at the top that make sense that they talk about with a flat wrist or even a bowed wrist, not a cupped wrist. I know so many guys that get to the top and they can't stay in the position because they cup their wrist. Why? Either they have some muscle tension going down that kinetic chain of their line or down the line of the kinetic chain, or there's like a cognitive dissonance there where they're not able to process putting their body in that particular position in that motion. And so you've just got to step back and put your body through those paces very slowly and get yourself to retrain. But it's about your body, not necessarily all the clubs, not necessarily like just this swing motion. It's just your body. It's static positions. Like if you can't get there, you're never going to be able to do it at full speed. So I just want you to be mindful of that and work backwards a little bit. Can you do the swing in those positions? Just get in those positions. Can you do it? If you can't, we need to make some changes. We need to make some adjustments. So I just wanted to put that out there because I don't want guys to keep thinking like, I can't do this, so I'm never going to swing well. It's like, you can. It's just going to take some time. So let's work through it. I'll see you guys out there.